Hey everyone, that time once again. And if you've followed our show at all over the last 19 years we've been on YouTube, you know I'll review just about anything. And I've got an interesting one for you today that's not for the faint at heart or those who may be a little bit on the prudish side. It's called Fallacies. And if you don't get the idea from the title, it is 11 short films that all involve the theme of the penis. Yes, the male member. It explores all different aspects of how it defines identity, how it's seen like an enemy by some men, how it's, there's all different aspects that are addressed in this, all taken seriously and all kind of putting it out there for something that really you don't see a huge amount in like regular cinema. It always seems like the male member is one of those things that's always avoided. And here, Fallacies is literally putting it up front and center in front of you and going, hey, here. And doing it effectively. Domizanio Cristofario, and I hope if I mispronounce that, I do apologize that. But Cristofario does the wraparound story in here about a gentleman who goes on stage and he's exploited for money because of the race and being naked and other people being fascinated by him. And we see how this gentleman struggles with this, job because of the money being good, but realizing what it means and him questioning himself as a person and should he be doing it? Yeah, a lot of great performances in the 3 short segments we get wrapping around the rest of these stories. The person who's playing the person on camera, Luis Mario Castro, does a fantastic job in here conveying emotions, and you feel frustration and other struggles that they're having. And then Exodus, brought to us by director Adam Ford, gives us a story of a guy who wakes up who has no eyes, but that's because his eye is now on the end of his penis. And we see how first you may chuckle a little and then get disturbed and realize what this might mean and what they're trying to say. And yeah, there's definitely a message here for sure. And the practical effects look really well done. And it's just really shocking as well. And yeah, just a great mix of emotion that you get in Exodus. And then there's Jack Molvenerdi, who plays the star in the short film Corybantes, who this is a person who is struggling with who they are. You get the impression, because it's done a little bit avant-garde style, where there's religious imagery as well as them and sexual imagery. And seeing these two, it's one of those things where you're like, yeah, he's goes to some extremes due to his penis, and it's very, very. It's going to make you squirm for sure. Poison Rouge gives us the short Daphne, which addresses the dark secret hatred that this character David has for his penis and why he has that. Stars David Mendoza, who does fantastic as this person who is suffering from dysmorphia and really struggling to move to who they really are versus the image that they've been putting up for so many years, and seeing the drastic change they try to make, and they still struggle with who they are even afterwards. Yeah, that one really struck a chord, let me tell you, and it's very an effective performance. Corey Dean Cowley is in directs Shunga, which involves a gentleman and demon who shows up. Be careful what you lust for. And yeah, that one was interesting. It has a Asian cinematic angle to it. Peter Langston giving us Madhead. He also stars as this artist who's a kind of a crazy guy who sees his penis as kind of a monster, and we see this through some imagery and such that is done. Slade Wilson directs Glory Hole, and Unglorious Hole, I should say, and it is definitely a glory hole gone wrong. That one has a lot of gore effects to it and makeup effects that are, again, everything is effective and just grisly. And there's pretty much all practical effects in the majority of these shorts. And then we have Venus Rebirth, done by Domiziano Cristofaro, who does, it involves a plant. A guy finds a plant, takes it home, and the plant grows and into this very attractive plant, at least attractive to the guy, and he ends up getting very intimate with it, and it ends up, things get very, very interesting with that one. There's Punching the Clown, which is a straightforward of sorts slasher story of a clown kidnapping a woman. And that one takes a very dark turn and just one that just, wow, that did not end exactly how I thought it was going to end. There's also shorts called Suck, which that's the only one I couldn't figure out at all what was exactly going on. I tried. I really, really, really tried, but that one is just an experience. There's one called Slut, where a guy, this directed by Jack Valentine, who decides he wants to make his penis bigger, but be careful what you ask for, is basically kind of with that. And then Echoes of Ecstasy, directed by David Stojan, involves a very disturbing subject matter there. And then it ends with a kind of fun Halloween-themed slasher story. Tibor Astor directs Halloweeny. So there's a variety of different stories in here, all of them addressing men's struggles internally, emotionally, identity-wise, how, it affects them, how it's used as a weapon. There's a lot of different themes in here about a part of the body that a lot of people rather not talk about. So I applaud them for doing this. There's a lot of shorts in here that make you think. Again, there's some graphic scenes in here, some very, very explicit scenes in here that are going to disturb folks, I am sure. But that's also kind of part of the point, is making you feel uncomfortable, to realize that, there's a lot of things going on that can be addressed involving men, and especially a certain part of their anatomy. So there you have it, folks. Fallacies, an anthology film that's not going to be for the prudish, weak at heart, or those who who are very disturbed by some very graphic sexual scenes. But those who can get past those, I think you'll find some very interesting things here to make you think, and even maybe talk about with those who have also seen the film. So thank you very much for watching. If you have seen Fallacies, like, subscribe, bells and whistles and all that here. I appreciate the support, and until next time, remember, keep that ticket stub.